And apologies for absence. No. We'll move on to the register of interests and dispensations.
Well, that's not, I didn't see it in my thing. It's, a family member is actually, I'm not sure if family member, which I did have, is actually going to work for WorkNest, which is a company that basically, but it's not here or something anymore. So I just think
Okay. Now, we come to the approval of the minutes of the last meeting. I wasn't here, so can I just say to those who were there, are those minutes correct of that meeting?
I'm happy to propose.
You propose a seconder? Fine, that's that done. To open the meeting to allow the members of the public.
We've got to vote as well as.
Well, I thought we did.
Propose a seconder. Yes. Sorry, I don't mean to tell you.
Quite right. We'll open the meeting to the public. There are no public members here, so we will go back. To receive and note the schedule of accounts to date and agree the bank reconciliation. To receive and note the budget to date. I've had a quick look at it. That's about it. I noticed you made some comments on it. Have you had a response to it, Arnie?
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
consultancy, professional fees, which forms the accounts, it's going to be actually changed.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any other comments on it?
One other thing I noticed is at the moment the earmark reserves aren't shown in the budget at all. It just shows as a massive surplus at the end of our budget. But Tracy's raising that with the accountant because we did have earmark reserves that we'd identified
So that's
to
been
get it
addressed.
fixed. Yeah.
First bit.
The budget, as in the accounts, doesn't currently show the earmark reserves, but it's in process with the accountant to fix that.
Any other points on that accounts? No? And to receive and note the budget, that comes under that. Yeah, okay, so that one is an FLA. Number 6, investment policy. To further consider an investment policy. I open the floor.
Yes.
What do we have?
Okay.
In my document.
Don't know if that counts as investment. Okay, so first of all, my apologies for sharing this so late. Hopefully you all received it at 1 o'clock this morning. So it took a lot more time than I was anticipating because this is a minefield, quite frankly, of legislation and statutory guidance and all sorts of other things that go with it. However, I think I managed to cobble together a policy and a strategy that meets all those needs. So what I've done is I've created a policy, the idea being that the policy should be relatively long-term. It sets out what it is that we have to do in terms of when we consider investments, and the principles and the statute and the statutory guidance and all the other things that we have to bear in mind. And then the other document that I prepared is a strategy. So the, I'm just going to say Secretary of State because I can't remember what the Minister's title actually is. It doesn't mean anything practically anyway. Issues guidance on a semi-regular basis under the legislation, which is statutory guidance, which says that we have to do certain things if we want to invest our money, particularly if we're investing over a certain amount. So that statutory guidance must be complied with if we are investing more than £100,000. If we are investing between £10,000 and £100,000, then it's recommended that we should follow that guidance, but it isn't required. And it seemed, as I've stated in this policy, under the principles, I think it's probably almost guaranteed that we're going to have £10,000 in some kind of a savings account at any time because of the size of our precept and the time that we're going to have between actually needing that money. and is also probably likely, given certain current circumstances, that we may well have more than £100,000 in investments at any one time. So what I've written into the policy is that the council will follow that guidance at all times, because that just seems like the prudent thing to do. Other key things that the policy says, so also following that guidance, every year before the start of each financial year where we are going to make investments or keep investments, we have to publish a strategy which sets out the approach to risk management, where we're going to keep the money, how much money, things like that. So the policy states that that is now a requirement and we need to adopt one of those, and we need to make sure it's updated before the start of each financial year. And it goes into detail on whichever page it is. Part 3, let's just call it section 3. I've actually included in the policy, it states exactly what needs to be in that strategy. So hopefully it's fairly straightforward for us to follow. And then otherwise there's some definitions which set out some of the key things that I think we want to follow. Some of these are statutory definitions, so the definition of an investment, a specified investment, etc. Some of them are things that we need to have in there as part of, so they're our definitions, but they need to be in there. So for example, the definition of treasury management activities, we have to define what that means to us, and so that's in the policy. And also we have to have a definition of what we believe high quality to mean in terms of the credit rating of anyone who we invest with. And so I've suggested that we would define that as being an A3 or A- rating if it's UK domiciled, or AAA rated if it's domiciled anywhere else. That's pretty much what the policy says. Any questions on that point?
So in 2.9, where we define what a high quality investment is,
Yeah.
it says it's got within that. What happens if we've got something invested with one of those,
Yeah.
with something that is AAA rated, and then it loses that AAA rating? Do we need to have something like that in there?
That's a very good question.
And I'm not suggesting we come up with something right now
No.
in this meeting, but it might be worth us thinking about for the next meeting. Because I think the only one we're going to be investing in is CCLA. I can't see that they're going to go down to a AA between now and then, but I think it's something we should think about.
I think that's a really good point, actually. I think that's probably something that ought to be in the strategy rather than the policy. And as far as that goes as well,